cutting. Starting problem. Okay. Whatever. So please, I think you have understood the topics of pattern making and marker making, and what is the next one? Spreading. I have shown you the videos of spreading, and that is about spreading. So now we will go to cutting. So cutting is another in process inspection method which tackles about quality inspection. Cutting quality is a prerequisite for quality in a finished product. In addition, cut work quality affects the ease and cost with which construction is accomplished. The quality of work leaving the cutting room is determined by how true the cut fabrics are to the pattern. I am sorry, I am suffering with cold and cough. We will get into the class slowly. The quality of work leaving the cutting room is determined by how true the cut fabrics are to the pattern, how smooth or rough the cut surface is, material or fabric defects in the cut fabric parts, shade differences between cut fabric pieces within a bundle. So cutting quality is a prerequisite for quality in a finished product. In addition, cut work quality affects the ease and cost with which construction is accomplished. The quality of work leaving the cutting room is determined by how true the cut fabric parts are to the pattern, how smooth or rough the cut surface is. Material or fabric defects in the cut fabric parts, shade differences between cut fabric pieces within a bundle. So that is about the first para. In addition, various factors in cutting that can affect the subsequent quality should be checked, such as under or overcut, size, placement and sequence alignment and of notches and drill holes, ripped or pulled-ons, etc. Dunlap, 1978. That is the year in which he wrote this. List the following defects that may arise in cutting. So, there are 7 cutting defects that may arise in a machinery. So, first one is frayed edges. Second one is fuzzy, ragged or serrated edges. Third one is ply-to-ply fusion. Fourth one is single edge fusion. Fifth one is pattern precision. Sixth one notches. Seventh one drilling. Frayed edges, serrated edges, ply to ply fusion, single edge fusion, pattern precision, notches, drilling. So frayed edges. Frayed edges may impede cutting time by clogging the knife action and or mar the fabric with rips or pulled yarns. Frayed edges means the edges that are disturbed and the edges that are not in line with the edges. So these edges may impede cutting time. Impede means stop or hinder the process. Hinder the process means stop for some time. By clogging the knife action, so it will clogging the knife action means because the frayed edges are intermingled with the knife action will be clogged. That means there will be the edges will be clogging to the knife edges, clinging, or they will be attached to the knife, and this may mar the fabric with rips or pulled yarns. So this will mar the fabric with rips or pulled yarns. Rips means ripped apart. Ripped apart means completely torn out. Completely. So Telugulo chinigipovam. Pulled yarns. Pulled means the yarns are pulled left and right, here and there. The amount of fraying depends on fabric construction and finish. The amount of fraying depends on fabric construction and finish. Improper cutting tools or dull knives cause excessive fraying in a pattern as the section is cut. Improper cutting tools. If the cutting tools are not proper, or we have dull knives, then it will cause excessive fraying. So that is about frayed edges. Next one is fuzzy, ragged, or serrated edges. I will tell you one English thing here. Fuzzy, ragged, after that ragged, or serrated edges. So here we need comma and then or. After fuzzy there is comma, ragged, comma. But when the sentence ends in that time, you need to have, when there is a last word between the 3 to 4 commas, the last word will be preceded by comma and like this prefixes and or. So that's why it is. So it should be fuzzy, ragged, or serrated edges, but it should not be fuzzy, ragged, serrated edges. That is wrong. There should be or. If it is not or, there should be and. So that is one important English aspect. That's why I am reading from point to point sometimes. Yesterday also in one class I have read this, where there is after comma there is and. So the perfect thing is, this is English, this is not English class, but I am telling fuzzy comma ragged comma or serrated edges. So that is perfect. The result of poor cutting implements fuzzy edges or ragged edges or serrated edges are the result of poor cutting implements. Such edges will impede sewing and slash or diminish sewing quality. This kind of edges will impede sewing and it will diminish, means decrease sewing quality. Such a condition is caused by faulty knife edges such as burrs, chips or dullness. So frayed edges is one point, and fuzzy ragged or serrated edges is one more point. So now I will talk about this. So I will show you what is frayed edges. There is always a definition. So these are the frayed edges. The edges are frayed. This is perfect example. Here the edges are frayed. This is an example of frayed edges. Dear students, you might have understood now. This is another example of frayed edges, frayed fabric. This is completely frayed edges. So this is one example of frayed edges, and now we will go to now the class is slowly began after so much squeezing, sneezing and all these things. Hachi. So all these things. Fuzzy. This is known as fuzzy. You understand this? Fuzzy means not clear. So this is fuzzy edges. That is the meaning of fuzzy. So fuzzy appearance means, so that is the one. Ragged edges. So these are ragged edges. So you know the word ragging. Ragging came from probably, ragging అంటే తెలుగులో చినిగిపోయిన బట్టలు. ragged cloths అంటే చినిగిపోయిన బట్టలు. సో ragging means probably సీనియర్స్ జూనియర్స్ను బట్టలు చింపుకోమంటారు కావచ్చు అప్పుడప్పుడు. సో ఆ డెఫినేషన్ అట్లా వచ్చింది కావచ్చు, నాకు తెలియదు, మీరు చూడండి. వర్డ్ పవర్ మేడ్ ఈజీ బుక్ మొన్న చెప్పాను, ప్లీజ్ బై ఇట్ అండ్ స్లోలీ రీడ్ ఇట్. సో ragged edges means these are the ragged edges. So this is ragging, ragged cloths. And next one is serrated edges. serrated. So this is called serrated leaves. So you understand the serrations means the edges are in that way, like the leaves has the serrations. So those are called serrations, serrated edges. So if the cloth has something like that edges, then it is known as serrated edges. So dear students, next one is ply to ply fusion. Adjacent plies in a block are fused together, which makes it difficult for the sewing machine operator to pick up a single ply quickly. Fusion occurs due to heat created by excessive speed of cutting or by the friction of a dull knife. To prevent fusion, check knife speed, keep knives sharp, place wax paper between fabric plies, and lubricate cutting blade. So ply to ply fusion occurs because of heat produced by the knife or by the action of cutting, by the high speed cutting, and because of this the machine operator finds it difficult to pick up a single ply quickly if the two plies are fused. So I am thinking that you know it, but let me also show you this also. Fusion, you will get something, I hope so. We are not getting any definition. So this is fusion, is nuclear fusion. It comes, I know that it will come. Nuclear fission and fusion. So that is one more term related to it. So it is not showing actually. Fusion means two plies stick together. So two plies stick together, that is known as fusion. Fusion is another place also. What does fusion means? You see, act of fusing or melting together. Union of, so it goes to chemistry. So what I mean to say is ply to ply fusion means one ply and another ply of cloth fused together. This is one ply, this is another ply. They fuse together because of the heat produced by the heat which is produced by knives, fast moving knives. So that is good. Now let's go to single edge fusion. We have talked about ply to ply fusion. Now let's go to single edge fusion. It consists of a single ply whose curtain ends are fused to form a hard brittle rim on the cut edge. Sometimes this is desirable to prevent fraying. However, hardness and brittleness are undesirable if they impede sewing manipulation or may result in seams uncomfortable to the consumer. So single edge fusion is a thing, single ply which is cut and whose yarns are fused to the edge, and it prevents it forms a hard brittle rim on the cut edge. Sometimes this is desirable. So this is wrong actually. It is not desirable at all. But the author says sometimes it is desirable to prevent fraying. So I have already shown you what is fraying, and so he says this is desirable, but I think it is not desirable. Single edge fusion. So that is about fusion, ply to ply fusion and single edge fusion. So far we have studied 4 topics: frayed edges, serrated edges. Serrated edges are also called fuzzy or ragged edges, ply to ply fusion, single edge fusion. Now let's talk about pattern precision. Distortion of the pattern perimeter as cut. Whether it is under or overcut is due to the poor manual control of the cutting machine and or poor lines on the marker. To assure precision in a pattern, check markers before cutting, use tensionless spreading, or allow time for the fabric to relax. After a cut, check the top, bottom, and middle plies against the pattern. So, distortion of the pattern perimeter as cut, whether it is under or overcut, is due to the poor manual control of the cutting machine. And poor lines on the marker. So there should be precision in pattern. What is precision? Suppose 2.123 meters has to be cut, then the knife should cut 2.123 meters perfect. So that is called precision. So precision cut means the cutting angle, cutting length, cutting tension, all these things should be precise. Precise and precision words are related. So pattern precision comes only when marking is done perfectly and with the good manual control of the cutting machine. To assure precision in a pattern, check markers before cutting. So in order to get precision in pattern, we have to check markers before cutting and then use tensionless spreading. So spreading should be without tension, or allow time for the fabric to relax. And after a cut, check the top, bottom and middle plies. So now I will show you a video, because if I otherwise I will forget. So this is too big. 6 minutes is too much. Cutting machine, garments. So please observe this video and please observe carefully. That is precision cutting. Precision cutting. You see? That is the cutting machine. This is known as precision cutting. Pattern marks, marking pattern are already done and they are cutting according to the marking. So those are the plies. You see, there are number of layers of fabric. So if one ply and another ply is mixed, then it is ply to ply fusion. So those are plies. You see, there are like 20 to 30 fabrics. Such a nice video. I have to thank this person. I thank Mr. Keen Hacker for giving this video. Such a nice video of cutting machine. So that is enough, I think. There is one more thing. So this is a small thing. Let's see, this is 1 minute. Let's see this also. see, this is also cutting machine. This is house working, house requirements probably. So those are marker making. So this is pattern of the fabric. So I think this is enough. The second video is not related to our that is also related, but it is not a big machinery like we have seen in the first video. So I can show you one more video also, but cloth cutting machine, so that is enough. So notches. Notch size refers to the depth of a notch. So what is notch size? Notch size is, I have shown you already what is a notch. As a lecturer, I have to show you one more time, because people forget why this is coming notch. So this is the notches in garment. Here notch size refers to the depth of a notch. So what is the depth of a notch? What is the depth of the V shape? If the depth is too great, the notch may show after a garment is sewn. The depth should not be too great. If the notches are too small, sewing operators will have difficulty locating them quickly, resulting in decreased efficiency. Misplacement of a notch may be due to an improper spread marker, poor control of a cutting machine, with the cutter's notching tool stroking diagonally instead of vertically, incorrect marker in that the notches for mating parts do not coincide. Check notch placement against mating pieces. Quality control in stitching may be a problem if notches are not aligned. So this is called alignment of the notch. So the three notches are like in alignment. So the depth of the notch should not be too high, and the depth of the notch should not be too small. If it is too high, it will be shown in the garment after production. If it is too small, the operator will have difficulty in finding the notch. So this is about notches. So I want to search one thing: notch cutting in garment, if there is anything like that. So I am correct. So this is you see, there are 100 plies, almost 50 to 100 plies, and he is cutting probably notch or maybe. So I want to show you the notch cutting. So there are too many, it is too much time. So 2 minutes I will play this. I will play one thing, notch, how to use a pattern notch. Let's not do this. Let's see this. So this is one more video showing about, you see, notch cutting, how to
In
make.
this video, you
Yes.
will learn how to make notches.
So yes, please observe carefully.
The fabric has been cut in the video Stitching a Garment Part 6, How to Cut a Fabric. Remove the pins on the pattern before making notches. Remove them carefully and see to it that the pattern does not slide or move over the fabric. This may lead to inaccurate notches. Notches are made by snipping off small pieces of cloth at the end of the hem and seam lines.
So you see, that is notch, simple, very simple.
Pinch the pattern and the cloth at the end of each seam and hem line using a scissor. Snip off a little part of the pattern and the cloth. These notches mark the seam and hem area after the pattern is removed. Not making notches will lead to confusion during stitching. You have now learned to make notches on the fabric.
So I have to thank this video person also. So that is very simple. So notch, whether the depth of notch, that is, you might have seen the depth of notch also. So drilling, last one. The drill hole may be too large or too small in diameter. A drill may become too hot due to high speed or wrong size, causing the plies to fuse together at the drill hole. The drill must stroke vertically to the table for uniform placement throughout the bundle. Sometimes fabric properties are such that the slight movement of yarns in a fabric would close a drill hole. In such cases, it is necessary to drill holes with a marking fluid. The drill used for such a purpose is hollow and carries marking fluid, that means ink.